Hi everyone! So today I just wanted to come on here and talk about Jesus' peace and receiving his peace and how you can receive that peace. So there's going to be struggles in our life, and there's going to be fear that gets into our hearts, and there's going to be obstacles and all of this, and sometimes it's going to feel like everything is just against us, but that is not true. Jesus is for us. He is always for us. And it says right here in 1 Corinthians 14:33, it says, "For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace." God is not a God of all of those negative things happening in your life. He is not a God of unsureness. He is not a God of stress. He is not a God of fear. He is a God of peace. He is the Prince of Peace. And the only thing that we have to do to receive that peace is trust in him and know what his word says. Right here in John 14:27, it says, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. Peace I leave with you." He leaves it with us. We don't even have to ask for it. He's already given it to us. We already have it available to us. All we have to do is accept his peace. It says, "I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. So how do we not let ourselves be troubled? How do we not let ourselves even get to that place where we let trouble and fear creep in? This is how we do that. We study God's word. We learn and know his promises, and we hide them in our hearts. And we trust in him. It says right here in Isaiah 26:3, it says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." He will keep us in perfect peace because we trust in him. Now, how do we trust in God? This is how we trust in God. We know his word. We learn what his word says. And we constantly be surrounding ourselves with his word. It says to watch what we put before our eyes and our ears, because what we're putting before our eyes and our ears is going to flow from our heart. So if we're putting Jesus in front of our eyes and our ears, we're putting his promises in front of our eyes and our ears, surrounding ourselves with him and people who are good influences and good, strong Christians and have good faith, strong faith, then that is what is eventually going to be in our hearts. Even something as simple as putting some note cards up, put some posters up, put some cute pictures up in your room with scriptures on them that you can read every single day. Write it on your mirror, write it in your school notebook, write it in your calendar, so when you open it up, that's what you see, is the promises that God has for us, the peace that God has for us. And eventually, if we keep sowing this into our hearts, we keep studying his word, we keep learning his word, then that is what's going to be in our hearts. That's what's going to flow from our hearts. Fear is not going to have a place in our hearts anymore. We're not even going to know the word fear. We're not even going to know what that means. So I know it can be hard, especially if you don't have a relationship with God. You don't know anything about Jesus. You don't know anything about his peace or any of his promises. And it's so simple. It's as simple as this. You just say a little prayer if you want that peace, if you want to receive the peace that God's given. And he gives it to everybody. He is giving it to every single person in this entire world. He has made peace available to them. And all we have to do is accept it. And I know it may be a little uncomfortable and a little weird to you to sit down and say a prayer to Jesus if you've never done anything like that before. And that's okay. That's okay. God knows what's in your heart. And if you want him to be in your heart, he's going to know that. If you need some extra reassurance, if you need some examples, all you have to do is ask. Say, "God, show me your love. Show me that you're real. I want you, and I want to live in your peace, and I want everything that you have in store for me, but maybe you've never had an example of Jesus. Maybe you've never seen him working in your life before. But all you have to do is ask, tell him, and I promise you that when you ask him to show you examples of his promises and you ask him to give you reassurance, to give you hope that he is real, he will. He will show you. You're going to see him moving in your life right when you ask him. You're going to see him moving in your life. And there's no mistaking when it's Jesus. There's no mistaking. It says, ask and you will receive. Knock and the door will be opened. So all you have to do is ask for Jesus' peace. All you have to do is receive it. And put away your worries. It says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Cast all your anxiety on him. You don't need that. There's no place for that in your life. Jesus has already overcome that for us. And all we have to do is receive his peace.